Mr. Reed's here.
Yeah, might as well.
Ed, you do this short straw tonight? Yeah. We're the only thing standing between you and your holiday?
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Thank you. So we don't need to wait for anything online. We're good. Okay. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the West Haven Council. It's Wednesday, July 3rd at 6 p.m. We will start, and by the way, I'm Mayor Pro Tem Morse, as Mayor Vanderwood isn't able to be here today, so I'll be filling in for him today. We'd like to start with the opening ceremonies. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance given by Councilmember Call and the prayer or moment of silence given by Councilmember Swap.
Please stand and repeat the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear, kind, and gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight as a council and as a city to do business on behalf of the city. We ask thee to guide our minds and our thoughts in the best interest of all citizens. We also ask thee to look out for our residents and our neighbors as we enter into the firework season. We ask thee to help us and ensure that we don't have any catastrophes. We ask for these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilmember Call and Councilmember Swap. Moving forward to item number 3, public presentation. Residents attending this meeting will be allotted 2 minutes to express a concern or ask a question about any issue that is not on the agenda. If anybody would like to speak, please come forward. If you will please state your name and address for the record.
I am Karen Wisner, 4418 West, 3750 South, West Haven at Green Farm. I have sent emails to about the weeds behind our house at Green Farm, which I think are in violation of the code. Green Farm calls it a natural landscape, but you have to maintain a natural landscape, and it has not been maintained. They put out wildflower seeds and grass seeds and have not tried to control the weeds. The weeds have taken over all the wildflowers. They're choking out the trees. The whole community is beautiful, except for in back of our house. They've done a beautiful job, but we look out the window and all we see is weeds. And I'm hoping that at some point, we've been there for 3 years, we've been asking for help with this, that someone will do something to control the situation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Weisner. I know I've seen some emails from you, and I'll have a discussion with the mayor as well as the Parks and Recs folks and see what their plans are for that. Thank you so much.
Just one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
When is the city going to take over the area?
Well, we'll need you to come up to the microphone. Sorry, we've got to get that on public record.
When is the city going to take over the area?
I don't think a date has been set. It just really depends on when the area is completed. And then Nelson Homes will come to the city and talk about having that taken over.
And hopefully the city will do a better job with that one particular area.
Well, we'll see. I can't speak on behalf of the city, so
Appreciate it.
yeah.
Thank
you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 4, upcoming events. The agenda shows one item, which is the Arts Festival, September 21st, 2024 at 5 p.m. Is there anything else that any of you know of that we're missing? Just the arts festival? I know, that's not on here, though. I don't know when the next one is.
So the next senior lunch should be Wednesday, the 24th.
July 24th?
Yeah.
I imagine that one will be.
We'll probably move it to the 31st. Would be my
Yeah,
guess.
that's what I'm thinking. It'll be moved.
Let me check one more spot. Okay, so it's gonna be July 31st at 11:30.
July 31st at 11:30. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 5, council updates. Do any of the council members have updates they'd like to share?
I do have one. So they posted the signs today or over the weekend on about the fireworks on 1800 South. So just to let you know, we have the big firework extravaganza. And this week, the people who are doing it have worked directly with the fire marshal. And they have paid extra for brush trucks to be there. And so they have been given permission. They just wanted the city to be aware. So that will be on July 23rd.
That group is always awesome.
It
so
is.
They do a good job
Food
on the
trucks,
fireworks. They do a
music.
good job on the community aspect. And then, of course, hiring fire department to come out. So that's good. Anyone else? No? Okay, moving on. We've got consent agenda items. We've got the city council minutes meeting held June 5th, 2024. City council special meeting minutes meeting held June 13th, 2024. Jacobson Building Services for $93,000. Any questions or concerns with any of those agenda items?
Do we have a report on that 93,000 of where that's completed or what's been done?
We don't have a report, and I'm not sure where the completion's at. Ed, do you know? Okay. I know that 70,000 is going to be reimbursed from DNR just because that's part of the grant for it, but I'm not sure where it's at in the construction process.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns?
Were you at the special meeting on the 13th? I think it's the budget meeting,
Yeah.
because it shows that you voted on some of them, but not on all of them. Were you late?
That was the one where the Zoom wasn't working and I called in on my
Okay.
way, or
Just-
tried to.
Okay, just want to make sure.
So yeah, that would make sense.
Good to go then. So I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A, B, and C.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Let's see, this is a roll call, correct? So we'll start with Councilmember Call,
Aye.
Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Swap,
Nay.
Councilmember Morse, aye. Motion passes 4-1, or 3-1. Moving on to item 7, action on planning commission meeting recommendations, action on ordinance 23-2024 amendment to the accessory dwelling unit ordinance. Who would like to take this? Alika?
Yeah, so this is just a simple one. All I really did was add 2 sentences just to have better clarity on what's going on. So the first one is under 157.469, and really it's just saying that a certificate of occupancy must be obtained before anyone can live in the ADU. And then the second one is adding a sentence about having the owner contact basically the utility companies, see if there's any other charge or any other like utility meter or anything like that that they need to get for the ADU. That's pretty much it.
I find it interesting that we didn't have that sentence about the certificate of occupancy. So were we just weren't issuing them at all, or how did that work?
I don't know, maybe it was thought that was implied. They were still being issued, but after it was inspected, you know. I think it was one resident that was a little confused about it and maybe started wanting to move someone in.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Alaka, do we have a list of all of the ADUs within the city limits?
That we know of, yeah.
That we know of, right. So,
Yeah, so-
I wonder if there's some out there that we don't know of.
I know. There's only a few. That was actually part of the reporting, the modern income housing reporting. I believe I only counted 11 that have either applied for a building permit or I have tracked through a land use application. But yeah, there probably are more that I'm just not aware of.
Right. I'm just wondering what happens in that instance if we have not, you know, if they have not gone through the appropriate steps.
Really, the only thing we can do is have them fill out a land use application. And this is something I can discuss with Ed Pearson, like our building official, to see if, hey, do you want to go in? Can we go in and inspect that, see if everything's good there? And then just have them fill out the application and make sure they have adequate parking, because that is one of the requirements.
Okay. All right. I will get with you later.
Yeah. I can touch base with Ed Pearson.
Any other questions from the council? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve ordinance 23-2024, the amendment to the accessory dwelling unit ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? This one is also roll call. Let's see, we'll start with Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Swap,
Aye.
Councilmember Call,
Aye.
Councilmember Morse, also an aye. Motion passes. Okay, moving on to agenda item 8, action on resolution 25-2024 professional services agreement between West Haven City and Joan Toon for the legal assistant services.
For some reason, I thought we had done this last year.
We did.
Oh, okay, this is just codifying it.
Well, it was on the docket, but you guys didn't pass it.
Oh, okay.
It's excuse me. It was interesting to see how fast the justice court citations are rising each year. That's a fairly steady growth.
That's funny. I thought we did pass this last year.
It was discussed and then said, let's wait until Sean's here and we can talk about it in the budget.
Okay,
I remember that.
That's why.
that's why. So we didn't,
Yeah, that makes
Not
sense,
pass it.
actually.
we did, okay.
We just said we table it until we got a city manager.
Any discussion from the council on this?
Nope.
Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the action on resolution 25-2024 professional services agreement between West Haven City and Joan Toon for legal assistance services.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not a roll call?
Is a roll.
Oh my gosh. Oh, how many years have I been here and I don't know this? Come on.
All right.
All right. Roll call then. We'll start with Councilmember Call.
Aye.
Councilmember Swap.
Aye.
Councilmember Dixon.
Aye.
Councilmember Morris, also aye. That motion passes unanimously. I'm just gonna do a roll call until we adjourn. How about that? I think that's what this agenda calls for. Okay. Moving on to agenda item 9, action on resolution 26-2024, local transportation funding agreement amendment between Weber County and West Haven City for the 3300 South, 5100 West projects. Hello, Ed.
Good evening. How's everybody?
Good. How are you, Ed?
Good, good.
This is a thick report. Hopefully you brought a big speech.
I hope I answered most of your potential questions in the staff report on this.
Did very good.
But
yes.
just for a general reminder, the city had gotten a grant from WACOG for the widening and new sidewalks on 3300 South and 5100 in conjunction with the construction of new elementary school. The original limits on 5100 went from about 3250 south down to about 3800. And we had also gotten an award for expanding or enlarging the intersection at 4000 South at 5100 for installation of a traffic signal. So when we spoke to WACOG, we asked if we were able to advance those funds and do that project at the same time we're going to be doing the bulk of the 5100 widening. They agreed that made sense. And as a result of doing that, we were left with a gap on 51 between 3800 and 4000. So we submitted a request to WACOG and asked if we can add that section into the previous grant award. They agreed that it made sense to do that. And the funding agreement here is for $880,000. 800 is what county's paying, 80,000 is the city's match. And just keep in mind that any of the matches required on 5100, we will be splitting 50% each with Hooper City. Amy is working on an interlocal agreement with them to put all that in place, and we expect to have that before you at the next council meeting.
That seems like we got a really good deal on this one.
I think we did. And I think we're gonna get a lot of, the whole project done in one fell swoop, less
almost $1
impact.
million project.
So I think it'll go well, I hope.
Yeah.
Anything that moves that light on 4000 South up too is a good thing. You can
Yes.
get that light before that school goes in.
Yeah, it's already needed, so. Okay, any questions for Ed? If there's no other discussion on this item, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve resolution 26-2024 local transportation funding agreement amendment between Weber County and West Haven City for the 3300/5100 West project.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Do a roll call starting with Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Call,
Aye.
Councilmember Swap,
Aye.
Councilmember Morse, aye. That motion passes unanimously. Okay, moving on to agenda item 11, award contract action on resolution 28-2024, contract between West Haven City and KPD Ventures LLC for cleaning services.
Madam Mayor, we skipped number 10.
Oh my gosh, I crossed that one off.
That's okay, I'm just standing here
Thank
for that
you.
one, so it's
Gonna
okay.
move-
I'll sit down again if you want to do the other
No,
one
no,
first.
disregard whatever I just said. This is why I'm only the backup mayor, not the real one. Okay, let's move back to action to item number 10, action on resolution 27-2024 to terminate the professional services agreement with Wall Consultant Group and enter into a professional services agreement between West Haven City and Avenue Consultant for property acquisition.
This is rather more of an administrative task. The council might recall, we had given Wall Consulting Group a contract to assist the city with various acquisition services for mostly the WACOG projects. And the person, the lead there, Nadia Baker, had moved companies to Avenue Consultants. And she had asked whether the city would consider transferring the contract to her new firm. Amy spoke with the president of Wall. They had no issue with us terminating the contract with them and thereby just awarding it to Avenue Consultants for the same fees that we agreed to in the original contract.
And she can bring all of her intellectual property that she had before with her, so she's not.
She's pretty well into it with the various projects, so it
Okay.
did make sense, and I think it was the best
Sometimes
interest of the city to continue that way.
Okay.
Yeah, this really makes the most sense to have that continuity. Yeah. Any other questions from the council? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 27-2024 to terminate the professional services agreement with Wall Consultant Group and enter into a professional service agreement between West Haven City and Avenue Consultant for property acquisition.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, Councilmember Call,
Aye.
Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Swap,
Aye.
Councilmember Morse, aye. That motion passes unanimously. Let's move back to 11. Award contract, action on resolution 28-2024, contract between West Haven City and KPD Ventures LLC for cleaning services. Emily, did you want to talk about this one?
I think that Sean's staff report really summed it up, so.
That's
He,
fair.
he does write a good staff report.
I did talk to him on this one because my concern was City Hall is to be cleaned on Tuesday nights and either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, one of those three. But the contract, the resolution doesn't speak to maybe checking in with City Hall to see if there are events going on. You know, that maybe they avoid Saturday morning when the church group is here, or if some other entity is using the community room, which also means they're using the bathrooms. He thought that they would be pretty amenable to do that. So I don't know that it necessarily needs to be in here or just noted, but he thought that was a good idea, that we make sure that they see what's on the city calendar, or can work around that. And I guess I didn't know, is it the cleaning company bringing a lot of people? They'll be done in an hour. Is one person here for 4 hours? You know, how disruptive might it be to a group? So I just was hoping to avoid anybody. I mean, they're if they're in the offices, obviously they're not disturbing this going on over here. So that was just my thought. Check in with the city before.
Right, I think that's actually a good idea if they can do that. He felt like they could.
Yeah, he thought that they would be okay to do that.
In their letters of references, it talks about Kathy and her team, so I'm assuming that there's a team that comes in. So her references are very good. I was very impressed with them. So
I mean, they have to fit it into their schedule, right? They have 3 days to come do it over the
Right.
weekend, so hopefully
Right.
they could. And it's not that the room is overly busy.
Well, it says she has excellent communication, properly reports maintenance. Yeah, I think that will work.
I also had concern that the community center was to be cleaned 3 times a week when we don't know how much it will actually be used. But that's actually, I mean, it's hard to make a contract with somebody, right?
Especially since it's brand new and we don't have any
You can't just
data to
make them be on call or whatever it is. So this may be overkill, but we don't really know that until we get in it, but at least it will be clean. So I
Yeah,
believe these are 1 year contract, so
Yeah.
can be adjusted.
Yeah, that's the one good thing is that it's a 1-year contract. We can go through the first year and see how things go and make adjustments as necessary. Having that community center is so new to us, so. Okay, any other discussion on this item? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve Resolution 28-2024, the contract between West Haven City and KPD Ventures LLC for cleaning services.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Another roll call.
Another roll call. Councilmember Dixon.
Aye.
Councilmember Call.
Aye.
Councilmember Swap.
Aye.
Councilmember Morse, also aye. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to agenda item 12, action on resolution 29-2024, acceptance of Staker Farm Park. Do we have any comments, questions, concerns on this?
It says that staff created this report. Do we know is it Brock that needs to inspect this and he feels good about it, or?
Yeah, it's Brock who did the staff report for it.
All right, perfect.
Well, if Brock feels good about it, I feel good.
That's where I'm at as well.
Well, my only concern was that why do we accept it if it's not completely complete?
Is the only thing remaining the grass filling in?
No, they're missing some playground parts that haven't been delivered yet, but are anticipated to be.
Yeah, they ordered them, but they've not arrived.
I mean, we could table it until, to be strictly,
I mean, they have made huge strides. I think they've worked really hard because there's been so many problems with the park.
Mm-hmm.
Spent a lot of money there. Brock is comfortable with it. I talked to him today about it as well, and he said, "Well, isn't it say something about holding a few $1,000s in escrow in the staff report?" I said, "No, it doesn't."
oh, so there's escrow money?
No, but he was saying that he and Nate discussed that we could do that in holding until those parts get here, but it's not in the resolution itself to do that. But if everybody feels comfortable to accept it as stated in the resolution, I believe they've requirements of the second MDA when I was looking it over. So
Well,
Brock's the one that has to maintain it, has to staff it, and kind of his call.
yeah, I feel if the only issue is that the playground parts have not arrived and Brock feels comfortable accepting it, knowing that the parts are on order and not here, I guess I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that as well.
I kind of wish Amy was here.
But again, we can table if we want and make absolutely sure until the next meeting.
We don't have another meeting for 3 weeks, I think.
Well, it takes 3 weeks for the parts to get here, so.
Oh, no, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. We have a 5th Wednesday, but in 2 weeks.
Even if we table it, then in 2 weeks we'll have a better idea. But I'd hate to approve something and then find out that we shouldn't have. But again, I trust Brock.
I think Brock's worked closely with them and felt like they've been easy to work with too. They haven't dug their heels in about anything. So.
Yeah, if Brock's okay with it, I'm okay with it. He's the one that I mean, he's accepting responsibility for it.
Okay.
Anyone want to make a motion either way?
Move that we adopt Resolution 29-2024, acceptance of Staker Farm Park.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? We'll start with Councilmember Swap,
Aye.
Councilmember Call,
Aye.
Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Morse, also aye. That motion passes unanimously. Move to item number 13, and in record timing.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned.